Hey class, today I just wanted to do a little bit of a review for the distributive property. So the distributive property is a really cool math tool that we can use to help us simplify some problems. We might have seen it before when we were learning about multiplication, but the idea is that if we have some number multiplied by a sum or a product, as you can see here with the parentheses, what we can do to simplify it, we could take the number on the outside, this 3, and we can multiply it times both of the numbers that are on the inside. So I'm going to do 3 times 6, which gets me 18. I'm going to do 3 times 3, which gets me 9. I still have a plus sign. I'm just going to kind of rewrite the plus sign. And then I can simplify. 18 plus 9 is 27. Great. Let's do one more example. You'll notice it's going to be a little different now that we have a negative sign, but the idea is still the same. I'll do negative 2 times 1, which gets me negative 2. I'm going to do negative 2 times 5, which is negative 10. And again, I'm going to bring my minus sign back. So now I have negative 2 plus negative 10. And from here, there's a couple different ways you could think about it. Negative 2 plus negative 10 does just get you negative 12. But if you didn't like having the two signs right next to each other, like you can kind of see here that I've got a plus and a minus right next to each other, that's a little weird. So you could maybe rewrite this as negative 2 minus 10, but you'll still find that you get the same answer here, which is great. But we're in our equations unit, so why are we talking about this? Well, you can do this with variables too. Same idea. Take your number on the outside, multiply it to both of the things that are on the inside. I like to color code my problems just so I don't lose track of anything. 6 times x. Because I don't know what x is, I kind of have to just leave it as 6x. 6 times 1 is 6. And again, that minus sign is going, I'll redraw that. That minus sign is going to come back and it's still going to be a minus sign. So altogether, I did my distributive property, I simplified, and I have 6x minus 6. Great. I can also do this if the variable is second as well. 12 times 4 gets me 48. 12 times 2x gets me, well, 12 times 2 is 24. And then, I mean, the x is just along for the ride. And lastly, that plus sign is going to keep coming back. And it's 48 plus 24x. Great. So that sign in the middle is really important because you're going to notice that if you forget what that sign is, or if you write down a different sign, you might get a different result. So you really got to watch out for your negative signs here. We can start the same way, right? I know I'm going to do negative 3 times x. And I also know I'm going to do negative 3 times 5. So let's go do that real quick. Negative 3 times x is negative 3x. Negative 3 times 5 is negative 15. And again, that sign is still going to come back here. So I've got negative 3x minus negative 15, which is a little weird to think about. We generally don't like having two of the operations right next to each other like this, right? This is odd. So what we do, we use a math property that we might have remembered from last year called KCO, which stands for keep, change, and then opposite. So what we can do here is we can keep negative 3x the same. We're going to keep it. We're going to change my minus sign into a plus sign. And we're going to take the opposite of negative 15, which is positive 15. So now we cleaned up our double negative sign dilemma, and we have a new expression, negative 3x plus 15. So this is always a good tool to use if you're dealing with two signs right next to each other, because that's generally pretty weird. Review this, find some practice problems on IXL, and I'll see you guys in class. Thanks.